up, everyone? It's Smalls here of Black Knight Media, and this is Iron Fist Season 2 spoiler-free review, which we will talk about what they did right, what they did wrong, what definitely improved over Season 1, and what really could go on with Season 3. Nah, not really. We'll leave that for another video another day. But today, here it is, your review of Season 2. So to start off with, let's just go over the pacing. Pacing of Season 1 was very terrible, and it just focused way too much on the boardroom drama aspect, which personally I was okay with, but when you're in for a Marvel Netflix series about a man who is the strongest martial artist, that's not exactly the first thing that comes to mind. So, it didn't fit the tone that people were looking for. It could have been better. I'll get into like the characters of that later though, because they were good in Season 2 in, different views. But the pacing of Season 2 still kind of slow. Not too slow. It really sped up like 2 episodes in it. A lot had changed. They knew that nobody liked Season 1, and they knew what to improve on. Colleen Wing had more screen time, more fights, more of a focus, including some stuff that I'm not going to get into because massive spoilers. But she is much better. Finn Jones, actually. Nobody really liked him in Season 1. I was kind of iffy on him. But after his, role in The Defenders, which was kind of crappy, but he himself did a little bit better. And then his cameo in Luke Cage Season 2, leagues better. Of course, the writing was also different, but his performance definitely stood out there. Unfortunately, he couldn't bring that same energy to Season 2, mainly because there's a difference between cameoing something and being the star in something in a Netflix series, which we all know it gets depressing at multiple points during the series, and he can't bring the same positive energy. But he still did leaps and bounds better. And I know some news outlets are still on the whole white savior thing. It's Season 2, it's past that. That's only something they can really throw at Season 1. At this point, just get over it. I never really cared about it. That being said, though, in terms of the build of most of the supporting cast, it was almost always in Chinatown. So aside from Misty Knight and the Meachums and Alice Eve's character, Mary, almost everyone else was, was from Chinatown. They were Asian. Chinese. I'm assuming they were Chinese. I'm not sure. They might have hired some others. I don't know. All I know is that the majority of the actual feel, it felt like it really existed in Chinatown. Not gonna lie, I wasn't fully expecting that though, because when he was supposedly picking up Matt Murdock's beat, you would expect Iron Fist to dabble a little bit in Hell's Kitchen, but no, there wasn't a lot of that. Aside from Misty Knight, there wasn't really any crossover with any of the other series in that sense. That being said, Misty Knight was around for a lot longer, and her performance was great as usual. And to just quickly go back to pacing, I feel like even though it would still start off a little bit slow, and there was a little bit of slow burn, especially with Alice Eve's character Mary, it sped up pretty damn quickly, mainly because there's only 10 episodes to do this time around instead of 13. That is a step in the right direction for all of the Netflix series. So they did well on that end. The fight choreography was great. Superb. Can't really think of anything that truly stood out like the Drunken Fist fight in Season 1, but that was the only really good fight in Season 1, so much better overall, more consistent. Could have used a little bit less camera cuts sometimes, but overall it definitely delivered in that sense. Since I was already talking about characters in general, let's get to the Meachums. The Meachums were rooted in, the boardroom drama stuff in Season 1 that everyone fucking hated. But at the same time, I'm sure if you take them apart from where they were in Season 1, you can admit that they were great. And in terms of like performance, they kept their characters alive. The actors really pumped what they could in them. Harold as well, but he wasn't in season 2. I mean, spoilers? No, not really. He's dead. Again. But Ward, his character went through a huge character arc that really pays off at the end of season 2. I'm not going to spoil what it was, but it will definitely lead into season 3. I knew I'd mention it again at some point, even though I said I would not. But in passing. Either way, Ward was great. Joy also, based off the, teaser end of season 1, she was going to be on the other side. She was going to be a bad guy, a supporting bad guy. She has great character arcs. Jessica Stroup really gave her character life, and I must say, as a brother and sister, Ward and Joy work together so well, especially since they're so dysfunctional. Joy is still so hurt over all the events of season 1. Even though they weren't directly against her in a sense, she still feels lied to and hurt, and you can feel that in her entire character arc. And there were other few side characters, like Mrs. Yang, who was the wife of Mr. Yang, who helped. I'm not sure if he helped in season 1 of Iron Fist or if he helped in the Defenders, but he helped out Iron Fist fight the Hand at some point in the past, and was kind of colluding in the first episode with, Davos. Light spoilers. I'll get to Davos in a minute, though. And then there was another new character, BB, which really helped Colleen Wing's character arc. That being said, Colleen Wing had one of the biggest character arcs that carried over from season 1 in Defenders. So if you haven't seen those two, you might not get it as much, but it really helped. It really, really helped. Now, moving on to Davos as the villain. I'm not going to get too deep into him, because I honestly want to make a video on the season 2s of Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and how their villains were characters that were in the background in season 1, and they really helped. Like, they really helped, or they were helped per se by a 2-season character arc. So I'm just going to briefly go into that and say that his motivations from the events of season 1 and the tragedy that is Kunlun, it really comes into focus very quickly how much he wants to hurt Danny, and how much he still views him as a brother despite going out of his way to bring an end to everything Danny loves. And it really comes down to just how he was raised. You learn a lot more backstory about Davos that really gets you into the character himself and the hypocritical nature of his journey, and how much he really wants to let himself and Kunlun and tradition live on, also cleansing the world. But I'm not going to get much deeper into that. I mentioned Alice Eve's character Mary before, as stated in promotional material and on the wiki before everything was filled out. She is a woman with multiple personalities that crosses paths with Danny. I'm not going to spoil exactly how she fits in, but I will say this: Alice Eve's performance throughout the multiple personalities, it really shone. I've never actually seen any of her work before, and if I have, I honestly cannot remember it. But I will be checking this actress out more. She was spectacular when it came to her 2 personalities that she really showed through this season. That being said, there's more in the future. I'm not going to say why or how, but great performance. I cannot wait to see what they do with her later on down the line. So I think you guys will enjoy season 2, but at the same time, if you absolutely hated season 1 of Iron Fist, this might feel mediocre to you. If you were okay with some of the choices and did love a few things in season 1, then you will like season 2. It was a step up. It was a step up. That's about what I can say. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. I will say one thing. I like the soundtrack of season 1 better, but that's just because I love hip hop and shit. Like, when the season 1 opened with Outkast, it had me sold before it, easily lost me earlier in. But, at least the soundtrack really stuck out. Can't say I felt the same this time. I don't know. I feel like after Luke Cage and literally the only thing season 1 that truly got right throughout the whole thing, the soundtrack, I kind of like having a good soundtrack in my Netflix series. Not gonna lie. Probably won't matter as much later on down the line, but it really brought a significant amount of character to the bleakness that was Danny in season 1. Sorry for rambling on. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was the first video on this channel, but I did do a season 1 review on my original channel, Black Knight 94 Reviews. I hope you guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this season. Tell me what you think they could improve in more in season 2, but do not put any spoilers in the comments. Any spoiler comments will unfortunately be deleted. Just let me know how you felt without going into any real spoilers. If it's a light spoiler, I might let it slide. But please, I'm trying to make this thing a beautiful community that we can thrive in together, so let's just be nice to each other, alright? And also check out my other 2 channels, Black Knight 94 Gaming and Reviews, if you have a time. And check out the Season 1 review. I'll put a link to it somewhere, whether it's in the card or in the description below. I'm rambling on too much. I love you guys. This has been Smalls. I'm out.